Hi guys, my name is Sary Pfister, and I know you guys are probably going crazy, right? Hope everyone's staying safe, first and foremost. So today I will be going over how you can manage your gray hair at home. So first, I would like to say that a lot of salons, but check in with your hairstylist to see if they're offering color kits before you do anything. I don't recommend box dye, of course. There's also other websites that you can, check out, like eSalon or Madison Reed. And you can look that up yourself. Also, just ask your stylist to see if they recommend that to you as well. But first, I would check in with them to see if they offer color kits, because they know your hair exactly. I'm doing that. We're offering, my salon's offering our clients that for pickup. So, okay. So before we get started, I will show you how to apply your root touch-up. And this is more recommended for someone without highlights. But if you do have some old highlights, I will show you how to manage them as well. But if you just got fresh highlights, I would, again, if you do have highlights and just had a highlight about a month ago and you need to touch up, a single process with your highlights, and you're only ready to get the base color done, I would ask your stylist to see if that is something that would be good for you, or you should just wait. Also, I will be going over some hair cares that you can do at home. All right, let's get started. So first you need gloves. And I'm also wearing, I'm not naked, I promise. I'm wearing a tube top. So if you want to do your color at home, I recommend wearing a tube top or a tank top. I also have a plastic here. If you do, go ahead and wear a tube top. You probably don't need the plastic, but if you don't have one and you want to put it under in the back, you can just use saran wrap. That will protect the back of your neck, your shoulders, and stuff like that. So I won't be putting this on today because I'm wearing a tube top. So here we go. First, you want to, after you receive your color of your choice, but make sure with your size, make sure if you do go for an eSalon or Madison Reed, there's a questionnaire and they'll go over with your hair type, and they will send you the hair color if you don't want to leave your house at all. And some salons are delivering as well, but just make sure with Madison Reed or eSalon that you're not allergic to it, because that would be the main thing. That's why I highly recommend checking with your salon first. So here we go. So you have a comb. You can just go ahead and put your hair in 4 sections. So with a clip, or if you don't have a clip, you can use a hair tie. And for my clients, I'm gonna offer FaceTime videos when they are ready to touch up their own hair, just to go over exactly what they need to do. So you can ask your stylist to see if they will be offering that to you as well. Okay. If you want to clip this section up, you can. I'm going to leave it down because I part my hair in the middle. It'll be out of the way anyway. And if you have any kind of cream, especially if you have a darker base, I recommend using a barrier cream. If you don't have one, you can just use a moisturizer. Just make sure it does not have any benzoyl or anything in it, just a non-sensitive one. So I'm using protein cream. You want to make sure you just put that around your hairline, like so. Around your ears and around your nape. Okay. So after you get your color stirred up and mixed, I'll be using a brush. And the way you dip it, you don't want to dunk it in all the way. You just want to dip the tip, especially if you only have about a month worth of new growth. But if you have 8 weeks, you can go a little bit deeper in the brush. But I am just using this as if I only had a month of regrowth. So what you want to do, I part my hair in the middle, and I recommend starting in the middle. Even if you don't part your hair in the middle, it's just much easier to distribute and not get messy with it. So you would hold the hair down. Also, you can prep your hair by, dirty hair is better if you're doing a touch up. So if your hair is clean, you can just go ahead, put in some kind of cream to, so your hair is not everywhere. It's just easier to section. So grab your hair and apply it just at the root where your new growth is, like so. The other side. Like so, and get your hairline. And since you will be doing this yourself, I wouldn't usually do this at the salon if I was applying touch up on my client, but if you are doing it yourself, I recommend you do the perimeter first. And after you're done with that, since your hair is already up from the other section, I would just go ahead and do your perimeter. Okay.
I can hear her.
And now we will start to section. And your section should be thin enough that you can still see the color on the other side. So just make sure you grab it really tight so there's no overlapping. And usually if you have a creamier color, it keeps the color in place more. But every salon uses a different formula. The one I use at salon is usually creamier like this as well. So since we probably don't have a ton of time, I will just be doing this section, and then I will go over just a portion of the back because you'll do the same thing on this side. Did you see how I have my brush not all the way dip into the color? So you don't want to dunk it where the color goes all the way to the bottom of the brush, the bristle, because you'll cause some overlapping, and also just it gets sloppier and messier. And also on the side that hasn't been done, you can also hold that really tight. Make sure there's some tension there. Also, another thing you should try not to do is pull the hair back when you're doing your section, because that will cause some overlapping. So you can just keep it more forward, how I have it, instead of back. All right, so once you're done with your section, you can let all of that go. And then you would go ahead and repeat the same thing on this side, and then you'll be going back. So after you finish everything, I will just show you how to cross check. So this part is done, but you will want to go 1 quad, 2 quad, 3 quad, 4 quad, and then you will go ahead and cross check. So since I was doing it this way, now I'm going to cross check this way to make sure you did not miss any spots. And I know sometimes if you're not a professional, it's really hard to do the back yourself. If you can get your front started or just have someone help you cross-check the back. If you have someone living with you, of course. And for the back, you can also use a mirror. So there's that. And since your hair should still be sectioned off, again, you would do that part, and then make sure you get that really flat. And then you would start in the middle again, doing your back section. So once you get the middle done, you can go ahead and release your clip or your hair tie. And just check with the separation of what's not done and what is done, and that's where you will continue to connect. And you can just go ahead and pull that forward. If your hair is a little bit shorter, I would just grip it right about there. Still, you know, kind of like use your 2-finger and scissor it to get the hair nicely gripped with some tension. And if you have longer hair, you can go ahead and just start a little bit lower. So at the back, since you are starting the sections this way, you will cross-check the opposite way. So now you're going to go in and cross-check like so.
Sary, can you turn around and show the back?
Yes.
And how do you know if you're missing sections?
Well, you can get someone to check for you, and you could just keep going over and over it again until you feel like their hair feels pretty saturated. And if you are a brunette and you only have one single process color, it's easier to push it in in the last 10 minutes before you hop in the shower to take it off. I'll show you the back. Can you see me? And the reason why I didn't put on my gloves because I'm actually using conditioner because I just got my hair touched up 2 weeks before the shutdown. Again, this is for root touch-up only. And if you are more of a brunette, again, before you get in the shower, you can use your hands with gloves on and just kind of mush everything through. Try not to bring it down to the ends too much, just into like the mid-shaft area to freshen and to connect those two dots. So you can just go ahead and smush it in. But if you are blonde, I do recommend with your touch-up, before you take off your color in the shower. And when you do get in the shower, I do recommend that when you go ahead and shower, you want to tilt your head back, get all the color off first, and then you can go ahead and, take a normal shower. But if you do have some old highlights, I do recommend grabbing foil and just wrapping them because the ends of the hair is very porous. And you can just take really, really big sections and just cover them up like so. That way, when you go ahead and rinse it out, you don't contaminate the ends. And again, I'm just showing you the one side. I'm just showing you the pieces that, the sections that I already did. And of course, I'm a blonde, so I would have to do this if I will touch up my own roots. And even if your hair is short and you have some blonder ends and you want to keep those ends blonde and fresh, I do recommend you go ahead and foil it as well. That's about it. Usually the color sets about 45 minutes. And again, don't do anything to your ends. I don't recommend doing anything to your ends right now. Normally at a salon, sometimes after you get a root touch up, you tend, so after root touch up, sometimes your stylist would glaze the hair. Only if you're a brunette, you can freshen it up a little bit by mushing it the last 5 minutes and, hopping in the shower. But I wouldn't bother with any glazes or anything right now. Right now, I'm just focusing on just, touching up the gray roots.
Could I ask
And that's
you,
about it.
I have a question. If you don't have like the proper brush, can you just use like a paint brush?
You can, but you can order. I do recommend getting a color brush.
Could you say like, is it just called
Just
color
the way
brush?
it should.
Could you put in that?
Yes, it would
what
be
it's called?
color application brush. So you can get that on Amazon. So I do recommend you having the correct brush. It's just easier to apply the color. So you want to make sure you have that.
Sorry for interrupting. Would that come in like a color box or not?
It usually come in a color kit. A lot of salons are off with their color kit are offering bows and brush if you get it through your salon. But if you want to pre-order before you color your hair, sometimes color come in bottles. I don't typically like bottles. I have my bottle here. It's, I think, for someone who is not familiar with doing touch-up. I will just go ahead and put on my gloves. So I don't have anything in here, but I would just show you how you could use a bottle as well. Because I believe Madison Reed and Easy Salon, it comes with a bottle. But I like using a bowl and brush. So you can go ahead and order that before you start, applying your color. I recommend that. But again, your stylist and see what they recommend for you. So if you do, go ahead and do it with a bottle. Usually with the bottle, the application is more like a gel-like texture. So with what I typically use at the salon is a little bit creamier. It's just more control. I prefer that. Some hairlines, their color are a little bit more gel-like. So with that, you know, it sometimes comes with a bottle. So when you can just go and squeeze the color, and you'll just one finger, and you would just glide the color through. And if you don't feel comfortable using the bottle to section, because you can use the bottle to section. And the reason why I don't recommend the bottle is if you're using your finger to glide the color into the roots, you'll have color in your finger, and I just don't want you to get it on your ends.
Phyllis, do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Are you talking to me?
No, it's Phyllis. I was just asking, when you put all the foils in your hair to protect the bottom color, is it possible for you to wash out all the places that you applied the roots if the bottom of your hair is all kind of contained?
Yes, because that will be protected and you'll get most of the color off first. It's just to prevent a ton of color, you know, gliding into the ends, especially if you have some old highlights. So again, keep it wrapped. And when you're rinsing, I would still just kind of hold the foils, grip it tight so it doesn't slide off, and make sure most of the color is off from your roots before you take out the foils. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
How do you figure out what color to use? My girl has no idea.
Sary, did you hear her question? She asked.
No, I
how
didn't.
can you- okay.
What was the question again?
How do I figure out what color to use? My girl said she has no idea what to buy at a drugstore or anything, and she doesn't know what to tell me to order or anything.
So if you don't know what color you use, again, a company like Madison Reed or eSalon, you can just go on, log into their website. There's a questionnaire, and there is professionals on the other end that can help you with that.
Okay.
And it'll ask you to put in like your hair texture, the amount of grays you have before they customize a color for you. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Megan.
Hi, Sary.
There are questions in the chat, Sary, if you want to look at them.
Okay, let me see how I can do that.
Andrea, you want to unmute and ask your question, please? She asked, my hair seems to be thinning, breaking. Any home remedies? I do take collagen peptides.
Collagen is good. Biotin is good. Actually, I have here, if your hair is breaking, talk to your stylist about, but you said at-home remedy. I do have Olaplex. I love, love, love Olaplex. And if you want to, it's protein, so it bonds the hair. And another thing, another home remedy you can actually do is avocado, especially if it's dry. Sometimes I'll do at-home remedy. I'll do avocado. I'll smash avocado and I'll put castor oil, because that will help with hair growth as well.
Someone wants to know how you do highlights.
Oh, that I would keep that for the professional. I'm just going over how to, you know, a touch of your gray hair. I do not recommend you trying to do your own highlights.
Susan,
involves
will it stain her shower?
Will it stain your shower? It shouldn't, unless if you're a redhead. I don't know what your bathtub is made of, so I can't answer that question. I never had an issue with people. I mean, most of my clients don't do the color at home, but depending on like your bathtub, I mean, it shouldn't if you rinse it out right away. Maybe have some after you get a sharp Clorox right away and let it sit if you are darker or have red hair. But if you try to get the water on it right away, it shouldn't. But again, I can't guarantee that because I don't know what your bathtub or shower is made of.
Any products that can carry you over in between color?
Oh, so another thing that I want to recommend, if you don't, especially if you're just you just had your hair done, if you're only 4 weeks out, if you're only 4 weeks out and you're not that desperate, but you have some grays, I mean, I have clients that can go another month, especially when they're traveling. I do recommend that they use, this is like more of a cosmetic touch-up. So it's not permanent, there's no chemical. So it's just like makeup for your hair. It's called Style Edit. It has a little spongy thing on the bottom. And what you do, you just take the sponge and apply it to your roots. That should get you through another month. But again, if you have roots that are a couple inches long, that wouldn't be so helpful. So that product comes in a powder form like that, and also a spray. And it's called Style Edit.
You have another question. Is it hard to cut your own layers at home, or is that a bad idea?
It's a bad idea. Can you repeat? I can't see the question, Shelly, so if you can just
Can you repeat what you said about the castor oil, please?
Oh, castor oil. Castor oil can be used by itself. I usually put it, it's very, very oily and very hard to get out. I typically use it more for my hairline. That's where I need it the most. I don't really use it all over my hair unless if I put it into like a conditioner or again, like avocado if I'm doing an at-home remedy. So I will put that into my avocado, or you can use coconut oil, but castor oil is more for promoting hair growth. Coconut oil, that's just more for dry hair. So if you do need, something to help you with more promoting hair growth, I would do the castor oil over the coconut oil. And I use this usually by itself, and I just put it along my hairline, and it comes something like that. So I just take it out and I just literally just put it around my hairline and rub it in and leave it in for an hour or so, and then I would wash it out. But it's very greasy and it's really hard to get out. So I typically would have to shampoo my hair 2 or 3 times to try to get it out.
Catherine said, what type of Olaplex? There seems to be a lot of different products online.
So Olaplex is one of the first, or if not the first, bonding solution, and is made out of protein. It's not a conditioner. A lot of people mistaken it for a conditioner. It's protein. So the more you use it, and you have to use Olaplex properly and the way you use it. So this is the number 1. Typically, it's an in-salon use, so they can put it into your color, your bleach, your glaze. If you don't have a lot of grays, you just, you can put in your glaze, which is a step 1. It also can be used by itself if you don't get color at all. In an applicator bottle, usually I would fill 3 ounces of water and 1/8 of the Olaplex. Shake it up, put it on wet hair, leave it in for 10 minutes, and then the step 2 goes on. And with doing step 1, if you do get a touch up once a month, you can restart your step 1 once a month, and then they'll do the step 2 for you in salon, and then usually this with the step 3, it's a take home, and you do that once a week. Does that answer the question? And now it's a good time. Now it's a good time to use Olaplex if you have Olaplex. I usually do it when I take a bath, and I'll put a shower cap on.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for everyone for coming. Are there any other questions?
That's great.
So, was that helpful?
That was great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very helpful.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was great. Thank you.
Yes, please consider supporting her on her Venmo account, Sary Pfister, code 7645. You can find that information as well on our website. And thanks so much for coming to Girls Night in Online, where we're together, we support amazing women. If you have a chance, if you would please take our survey on the way out, we would greatly appreciate it so we know what things you would like to see more of. Everybody have a great night and stay safe.